Hello everybody and welcome back once again to the Divinity walkthrough. Alright, so we are right outside the church and I've got some dialogue to do, but I kept trying to actually steal from the conduit, so I started this a couple of times.
How much simpler all this would be if only it was so. Still, I cannot blame you for struggling against me. What reason have you to trust me that your efforts are misplaced? But now, with Brachus Rex nearly risen, there's little more you can do to hinder me. Perhaps for the better. When we first met on the beaches of Sicile, I underestimated you. That blunder has cost me dearly.
Alright, so yeah, if you notice here, I tried to get up to her and then I wanted to try to pickpocket her, but she keeps moving. So, yeah. And I didn't finish or maybe it's not obvious, I did not finish the dialogue, so I'm actually just going to reload my game here. But I thought that was kind of interesting. She's like one of, there might be other NPCs that do this too, but for the most part, when you're in a dialogue with an NPC, they won't move. So they must have, I mean, either it's an oversight and that's actually a bug and it just doesn't matter and yeah, I don't know. I suspect even if you start the dialogue, once you walk far enough or close enough to her, I think that's when she'll start walking away. I noticed also, because I think I tried to use walk in shadows to to be invisible, and see if that would help. But it seemed like it was the same issue where once I got close enough, she just starts to walk away and she goes into the bottom of the chapel here. There's a I don't know, like an altar or something like that moves. That's part of the puzzle.
Hidden between darkness and light.
Hidden between darkness and light. Okay. Yeah, see? She just starts automatically moving no matter what. And I even tried to attack her, but yeah, that didn't work either. So I think that was the last time I tried that. Yeah, once I realized that even if I was invisible, that she just, because again, I think it's just because your character gets a little bit too close, and then that triggers her to start walking away. So again, unfortunate, but them's the breaks, as they say. So all right, I will start this back up, and we'll go through all of her dialogue. She's got some interesting things to say.
Ah, Source Hunter. Have you come to lend your blood to our cause? How much simpler all this would be if only it was so. Still, I cannot blame you for struggling against me. What reason have you to trust me that your efforts are misplaced? But now, with Brachus, perhaps for the better. Still, after all, you need not know more than this. The end is coming. The end of sorrow. The end of pain. Those who oppose me oppose peace itself. And here I thought you'd seen it yourself. Tell me, what is the imp historian doing, if not begging you to divert the void? So, you're familiar after all. You know as well as I that the void is coming. In fact, if I'm very precise, it's already here. But you need not be afraid. The void is ourselves. We are destined to rejoin it. I have chosen a dark and dangerous path, but I vow that those sacrificed have not suffered in vain. My only wish for all of Rivellon is the soft hush of silence. Brachus Rex was the forefather of our cause, the original Immaculate. His resurrection brings Rivellon one step closer to the ultimate solution: dissolution. Wouldn't you like to meet him? The sorcerer your order was formed to destroy. I'm certain he'd love nothing more than to meet you. Follow me. Find out.
Okay, so quite the generous offer she gives us there. She even kind of, I don't know, maybe that was a sarcastic offer to join her. I'm not sure, but the offer was there nonetheless. And then she alludes to the fact that Brachus Rex is down here, and she's like, you should, you should meet him. You should meet the guy that your order was formed to destroy. So, yeah. So why don't we do that? Now, I don't know if more of these enemies come out depending on how many are left, or if it's just a timed thing. I'm not really sure, but this is another one of those battles where I think a lot of your success is going to be determined on gear and levels, obviously, but kind of like setup, and maybe not necessarily rushing them. Again, then that's going to depend more on your group setup. So, but yeah, they just kind of stream out of the bottom area there a bit. Okay, so here's the Mortician's Hut key, and then the old saber. That's a unique item. Now, that old saber, I'm not sure if that will be there for everyone or not, or if that's another one of those just random items. Because I think some of the items are completely random on like where you get them. Like I get the buffalo amulet there not too long ago, and then again that old saber as well. So. And I don't remember if it's the old saber plus the buffalo amulet that makes the buffalo saber. That would make sense if I'm getting the names right. Yeah, and that's one of the best one-handed, or potentially the best one-handed swords in the game. Again, though, because you craft it, it's going to be the level of the character, and like its stats are going to be based off of the level of your character when you actually craft it. So again, it's better, in my opinion, to hold off until the end of the game to actually craft that. But on the same token, if the longer you wait, the less use you get out of it. So again, it's kind of a I don't know, is that considered a catch-22? I think maybe. Anyways, all right. So there's 4 paintings in this room. You have to actually interact with the paintings, and it moves them. And
how many to go?
then you can interact with the buttons. Now, one of the kind of interesting things here about this whole area is I think we're actually we're supposed to get the key here in for the Mortician's Hut, and then the key to the Mortician's Hut. I don't remember if I broke in or if I picked the lock, but. That was on the east side of Sicile, and that was kind of like Thalarian's lab. And he actually has got hints in there as far as how to solve this puzzle. I don't remember if it's in his letter, or if there's like a letter on the ground there in his place, or if it's actually in his journal. I feel like it was probably a letter, though. But here there's a hidden hatch. This is the first time of all the times I've played the game that I've ever found this hatch. I didn't know it was there. So I think all the other times that I played the game, I had a really, really poor perception stat, so I didn't run across this. Okay. Okay. That's the Blasphemy book. I think there's a couple of those, or like a couple copies of it. Oh, here we go. Speaking of the letters and the journals, and then here, I don't know, I finally read the zombies book to trolls or whatever. It's kind of funny, but I don't think it's useful for anything else. I guess I could be wrong on that, but yeah, that was my take on this particular book. Take these coins, 100 should do. Graph. Okay. Well, at least now we know how to say that. But yeah, so anyway, so like I said, I think the idea here was that you get the key to the Mortician's Hut here, and then you would probably go over to the Mortician's Hut and learn how to solve this puzzle. But since I broke into the Mortician's Hut, we can, we skipped that part, and we don't really need to do that. So, yeah. Let's head through the hatch, though. There's a person out here called, I think it's just a mysterious stranger, I think is his name. And as far as I can tell, the dialogue options that you have with him don't matter at all. And I don't know if you ever meet him again.
Wow. Hello there. And who, pray tell, might you be? Oh, let's just say I keep the place in check. Tidy it up. I'm no one important, really. I've learned to appreciate anonymity. And forgive me if I prefer to distance myself from any possible mishaps you adventurers can cause. Quite unpleasant to get involved. Authorities knocking on your door in the middle of the night and so on. Forgive me if I generalise, but some of your lot are as crazy as they come. I once thought you a quaint sort, but over the years I've come to realise that about 1 in 10 is downright dangerous. Lock up behind bars, paint the key blue and toss it into the sea material. Now I can't help but wonder, are you cut from the same batty cloth? Why've you come here after all? What's the point of it all?
The mysterious stranger gives you a long look and, after what feels like a vast eternity, nods.
Okay.
I thought I remember reading something about how I think maybe that mysterious stranger was like a tip of the hat to like somebody, maybe someone that donated during the what do they have? Are they like Kickstarters or whatever they're called? But again, that's just something I think I read. I could be completely wrong on that. And is it important? Probably not at all. But kind of interesting that they did. I do know that they did that a couple of times. They put in like some items and some kind of just tip of the hat type of stuff to people that donated. So pretty cool, I guess.
Strange magic.
But all right, so here's the control panel, and you have to have an enlightened amulet in order to get into here. And here's the clue. Always wondered what those fancy yellow necklaces they're always flashing are made of cheese. So yeah, that's a hint that you need an immaculate amulet to get here, which I do have. I think I've actually got 2 of them now.
By the health of the 7 you're here. There may yet be hope. Perhaps you remember me as a healer. But gods, what a herald of death I've become. I'm beyond redemption now. But you alone may save Sicilian, may save all of Rivellon from the horror I've summoned. King Brachus. Brachus Rex from the tales of old. He lives. The mad Source King, the Lord of Chaos. I have awakened him. I've done a terrible thing. I've raised a mad king from beyond the grave. I imagined so very foolishly that I'd be able to extract an ancient secret from him. But with a simple flash of his arcane magic, I was finished. I'll tell you all I know, Source Hunter. Resurrected, revived. The king lives, but not as the man he once was. He retains the mark of death upon him, like a festering wound. The last of the mad Source Kings he was. The tyrant who nearly condemned Rivellon to oblivion. He began the War of Wars, marching brother against friend, until every land and home burned with death. It was during this dark time that your order, the Source Hunters, was formed. Brachus was defeated, and Source outlawed from the land. Brachus was a dangerous monster, but he achieved things no man or mortal could have dreamt of. He alone is said to have known a great secret, how to break the Forge of Souls. I promised to extract this secret for a woman calling herself the Conduit. In exchange, she vowed to reveal to me a certain power of her own. In hindsight, I see that I dealt with the devil, and I've received my damnation. I was given a great stone, a bloodstone, but more charged with life than any I'd seen before. The conduit said it would imbue Bracchus with life enough to share the secret she craved. But what he has become, his powers have all returned, and I cannot stop him. My failures are so many. I can hide them no longer. In my pursuit of the Source King, I've called forth abominations that neither I nor any other can destroy. The ghoul that guards the lighthouse, the Baron of Bones, the twins by fire joined. Their ghastly faces haunt me, and they in turn have rifled through the graves and sarcophagi of Sicile in search of undead minions. Undead, Source Hunter? Unkillable? I fear this plague may never end, no matter how many times the rotten dead are defeated. Curse her name, her hell-sent promises. She claims to be a link between her goddess and the world of men. I never believed her divine claims, but I could not deny her great power. It was she who showed me that Bloodstone could be used for more than healing. Her stones, particularly powerful and potent, could raise the dead. What could turn any soft soul towards wickedness? My weakness was love, and it was love that she promised me. The conduit had shown me how to raise skeletons and zombies from their graves. But what I craved was something far more rare. A second life. A true second life for my wife, Malia. She was a beautiful soul, snatched from the world of the living far before her time. Now the conduit's promise seemed simple. A secret for a secret. I'd tell her how to break the soul forge, and she'd tell me how to bring Malia back. You can defeat the unholiness I've raised, Source Hunter. You can save the countless innocents that will perish under the Source King's mad fist. I pray... No, I believe you can reverse my failures.
So, Celeron believed that by unleashing these monsters, he'd learn the secret to resurrecting his beloved wife. Love so complete can cloud even the best man's judgment. Aye, in Celeron's position, I'd wager many of us would do the same.
Okay, so Thalarion has died now, and I went with the forgiving version of that dialogue option. Now, on the opposite side of this door is Brachus Rex. It can be a pretty tough battle. I would say that probably the biggest, or one of the biggest hints, is to split up your characters like this, and to actually initiate the dialogue with him with one character, and then get your other characters in position. So, unlike the conduit, you can actually move your other characters around as you speak with him.
To watch the spectacle, to see the sovereign of the source ascend again. Or perhaps you are the first in a long new line, the first that will try to stop my dominion again. Oh, by the emerald eyes of the goddess, would you believe that I can still feel it ever so vaguely? The force of the stab that cleft my heart and sent my soul shivering into death. But my followers have done it. They have done it like I knew they would. Blood, the thick red gravy, the source of souls, has been yielded unto star-sent stones and has swept away the eternal shadows. How long has it been, I wonder, my first repose in death? An hour? The time it takes the seas to tear down cliffs. It is of no matter. I live, and I shall claim my throne anew. A fable I may have become as time dragged on, but a fact I am once more, little one. Don't you, don't all of you miserable mortals realize that they who are one with Source have thrown off the burdensome mantle of death forever?
Okay, so this is what I mean by keeping the dialogue open with him. Now, this is another really interesting thing, and I assume you can do this with other people as well. But I'm going to pickpocket from him and see what he's got. Now, why is that useful? Well, again, you get to see what he's got. And then on top of that, like, if you aren't happy with something that like a boss has, now, okay, so this he's really interesting, and I don't think I ever really noticed this before, but he's got 2 yellow items, so 2 divine items on him. That pair of boots is pretty decent. The axe I don't care about, and then this rapier I didn't care about either. But if you notice, his axe, his 2-handed axe, he'll always have that because that's his unique item. And that will only ever be, I think, like level 9, I think it is. And then here I stole, or I looted his chest. You have to get that key in order to get the chest, and it a starstone pops out of it. Now, because this isn't one of the main characters, the 2 main characters, the starstone doesn't activate and turn into, you know, an inert stone. But here's what I'm talking about, though. You can set up your battle, and you always want to spread your characters out when you face Brachus Rex, because he is going to bomb the ground.
Source, I drank it, made it part of my blood and my being. And so a warlord became a sorcerer, and a sorcerer became a king. The fools of this world dubbed me a tyrant, for the gods convinced them I was such, fearful as they were of my rise in power. Armies amassed, too many. Scores I slew, too few. Death took me, too soon, but not for all time. Ha! Not a thing. There was a woman once that went by that name, until I mangled her body into that of a lich. Oh, my sister dearest, Cassandra, and her man-cat. Mere pets of mine, the both of them. Tools to bruise and break as I saw fit. They bled so very beautifully. The reason for my resurrection, O simplest of spirits, is that I was destined to be. Were it not for the vainglorious fools that raised me now, it would have been another, perhaps wiser being that would have done so in time. And time is of no matter, only to be. Eternally, a woman seeks my secret, for her soul is entwined with another's, yes. Where once they were inseparable, now they have grown apart in purpose and intent. But my secrets are mine to keep. Perhaps when she lies shivering before me, pledging alliance to her king, I will break her forge before I break her. A source hunter. So you are, though you are so much more, and do not even know it. No matter, they still smell like you do, by the by, your brother and sister hunters, as they closed in around me that first time. Fear. That most sly, most intangible of sense. Drowned out soon afterward by the acid stench of urine. I had but to look at them, and they rusted their chainmail where they stood. I and did so manifold they had to wade through the gore of the fallen. Oh, what a feast, what fountains of gravy we had. Alas, that there were too many, as there clearly are too many of you still. Although, life renewed has made me rather peckish. And from the looks of you, you need but the slightest of squeezes to make squirt the sauce's sauce from your soft, fleshy shell. Yes, look at you, plump as a leech bulging with freshly sucked blood. Oh, I do believe, as my servants would say as they brought in a squirming, plump girl on a plate, that dinner is served.
Okay, so just before I start the battle, I'm gonna do some cheesy stuff here and summon some, some summons right next to him. I don't know how useful that really was. I mean, the good thing is you don't have to waste a full turn because these decapitators are extremely expensive to cast. I think they're 10 AP. So you get a little bit of a jump by summoning beforehand, but there we go. And so then I just swapped to my last character and actually started the battle. So a couple of other things that you'll need to know about Brachus. I'd say, I mean, so I think he's level 9. And there you have that brutal spell. I think that's called Meteor. It's either Meteor or Meteor Storm or something like that. But yeah, so it makes a burn surface, and then it just destroys people. I mean, it's a lot of damage for, and I mean it's got a pretty big area of effect as well. So that's why you want to spread out. The other thing is one of the cheesier things that you can do, and here I'm just looking for. I thought he summoned 3 of these stone things right away, but I think like for this round, and again, I don't know if I just got lucky this time or what the deal is, but I thought he had 3 of those stones. And those make him invulnerable. They give him the void, I think it's called the void aura. Okay, let's get out of that. I didn't really need to do that, to be honest. I probably could have just stayed there, but anyway, so yeah, one of the other kind of cool things that you can do is if you've got like a fire elemental, you can actually have a fire elemental tank Brachus and the twins joined by fire, because they're kind of yeah, I've got a fire wand. I don't know why I even bothered attacking them. I should have just buffed and called it a day. But so yeah, so you can, like I said, you can use like fire elementals if you've got them. Now if you don't have somebody with the, what is it? Is it the pyro? Yeah, pyrokinetic skill that is actually able to summon. You could try to find scrolls somewhere because, I mean, for this battle, they're pretty useful. And the reason why they're so good is because oftentimes the, Brachus, Rex, and the twins will try to attack them. And they'll just absorb the damage because they're fire elementals. And Brachus Rex himself, as well as, again, the twins joined by fire, actually deal fire damage. So, again, it's kind of a neat trick, I guess you could say, or something that you can take advantage of. And but if not, I guess there's there's more than one way to skin a cat, as I say. And then that's kind of a neat trick in the middle of the battle, too. If you feel like, or if your characters are just getting wrecked and everybody's low on health, you can move one of your main characters over to the Starstone if you've picked the lock, and it's on the ground. The problem is if you've picked or pickpocketed Brachus, took the key from him, and then opened the chest beforehand. The problem is if you don't do that, the Starstone will be in the chest. And even if you get close to the chest, it doesn't activate it. So, again, if you want to do that, that's another one of those cheesy little things that could potentially help you out a bit during combat. So, I guess keep that trick in mind as well if you're having issues here. The ghoul guarding the lighthouse, I don't know. He's kind of a wimp. He's probably who you'd want to take down first. And again, I think it's just because he's not that strong, I guess. And then the twins are pretty brutal. And then the Baron of Bones is here too. I forget his name, but I don't remember him being all that impressive. And then there, my Decapitator knocked Brachus Rex down, which is kind of crazy that happened, but whatever. I mean, that's another great thing about him is he's you know, not immune to like knockdowns and some of the status effects. Another one of the things that you can do is if you have a character that's got the or some of like the freezing spells. Not only does, I mean, water damage does a lot, or water does a lot of damage to Brachus Rex as well as the twins. So that's another kind of neat thing that you can do, especially if you're using like wands. You know, you could use water typed wands and really do some decent damage to those guys. But other than that, I'm trying to think if there's really anything else as far as kind of tricks that I know about him. Oh, okay, so he just exploded, and if you notice here, there's all kinds of cool loot. Now, if he doesn't have, or like, so another one of the kind of neat tricks that you can do is when you pickpocket from him, you can check out what he's got, and if you're not happy with the other items, because again, he'll always have his two-handed sword, or his two-handed axe. Sorry, Brachus's two-handed axe. That's the one. But he'll have other items as well. And yeah, so this one's a level 20. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have jumped over that sarong so quickly. That wand though, you can tell that's not a level 20 wand.
Sigurd's beard, what a fight!
Yeah, neither is this sarong. So some of the items aren't the same level as your characters. And maybe that's obvious, maybe it's not. But I don't know why that's the case. That's something kind of goofy, but it seems to me that when you kill him, or when he, I guess he just randomly has a couple items that are the same level as your characters. That's my take anyway. There could be limits to that though, like maybe he's only ever like maybe level 20 is the maximum level of gear that he can have on him. I don't know. But anyways, long story short, what you can do is if you're looking at his inventory and you you pickpocket him, what you can actually do is reload your game, and then go like excuse me, look in a vase, and then go pickpocket him again, and you can check what gear he has then, and it'll change. So that's kind of one of the cool things about this game, and it works with like treasure chests as well. So like if you know that a treasure chest has a potential to get a really good item in it, you can actually save your game beforehand, look at the chest. If you don't like what's in it, you can open up a vase, and then then check the treasure chest, and if it's got something that you like, then keep it. Otherwise, you can keep repeating the same process. Now, the one thing though that you have to keep in mind though is you can't just save your game, open one vase, and then check the enemy, and then reload, check one vase, and check the enemy again, because they'll have the same thing. So every time you reload, you have to increase the amount of vases that you open up by 1. So, it can be a long, annoying, frustrating process, but you can end up getting some things that you really like that way. So again, it's one of those things where, if you absolutely have to have a better piece of armor or something. And to be honest, Brachus Rex is one of those that, it's potentially worth doing that. Now, again, the great thing, though, is you get to check, if you pickpocket him beforehand, you get to check what he's got. So, you might as well. You might as well check out if he's got anything that you like before you fight him. Because, the flip side of the coin is, killing him, I guess, seeing what you get, and then not being happy with it, and then having to reload and do the entire battle again. So that's not going to be, a great solution. So again, if that's what you want to do, pickpocket him. If he's got something that you like, go ahead and kill him. If he doesn't, reload. Check a vase, and check him again. So that's the process, and if you want to take advantage of that, go right ahead. Alright, so that's Brachus Rex and his cronies, and actually I'm out of time here, so I'm going to cut it. As always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.